Okay, this is one of the variations I'm still putting together towards the final, and then I use layers extensively. At one point, I thought, and I'll back these off so you can see how I'm using this. I thought I wanted to or try to use a a natural scene. I was very impressed with the countryside in Ethiopia, especially in the rainy season. But it's a little too complex for the words because I'm going to want to bring in some type. Um, things like this need to be brought in. Okay, use the font tool for this. And, but yeah, so it doesn't quite work. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to bring in a gradation of work. And I wanted to bring in something connected with the bottom half of this dark area on the image and then make the letters obviously stand out more. So another gradation effect. Now, how you use gradation, how you make a gradation tool is I'll go over here and I'll make a box like this. And let's see, I'll do this. Now, this point the box, okay, we have a size. Control Z, put it back up there. And at this point, when you go over here, it's this little X, this little dark, red line means nothing in it. And this is the line tool, and this is the fill tool. So you can do fill, which is the whole thing. So if I hit this like this, highlight it, double click on this, I can fill it full of, let's say, I'll go with the green and take the little circle, move way up here to the green like this. See that? I can move this around, okay? And that gives me my green. That's a fill. I can do, obviously, this is the a line tool around the outside. If I double click on that, I say I can do red if I want to do that. And then I can go up here to the stroke and I can actually increase that. See how the red gets bigger? I can actually keep the actual stroke around the outside. See that? If I want to do that. But we don't need the outside line, so I'm simply going to just double click and I can go down here and hit again the little red line tool, and that deletes. So I highlight this and that deletes it this way. Oh, gotta get rid of this one here, cancel that. So I can go ahead and just, that little red line tool through there, then just makes that disappear, see? So if I want to do a gradation, I go to the gradation tool here, click on this, and it'll give me this box, gradation box. And it starts off with black and white. Not sure why, but you have to then go back into your options. Or actually, let's see here, if I go to the color version, double click one of the dots, and let's see where the color is. I'm gonna turn this thing into it, and our hide options, let's see. This is the color. No, I don't understand why they looking for the color wheel. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. So now we got the color wheel here. I can pick colors through here. There we go. So you double click in the face here, and then you get these color areas. And these little, this will give me back. See, if I go grayscale or I can go RGB. RGB is what you want. That'll give you colors. So I can go in here and I can then change these colors. Okay. There, go in here, I can pick this to be a green. I can pick this one to be another green. Move these around this way. There we go. See, so then I can take this. Now I can also, so once I do that, okay, so what I do, so that's my gradation tool through here, okay? And so I go back to my box, highlight my box, double click, bring this forward. See how the box comes forward now? Okay, it comes forward, and then I hit the gradation tool. There, and that'll give my gradation. Excuse me, excuse me. but you can see it's going the wrong way. So I go back up to here, and I can hit 90 degrees, and then I'll go this way, or I can do from the top down. So I can change these any color I want. I could even change this. I can even change this to blue. See, and then I can actually change how it transitions to each other, or I can actually flip it upside down by going back to the degrees. And let's go, say, -90. There. So now I'm back to this sort of the green that I had here. Okay. So that's how you use a gradation tool. And so you get used to using these, the solid fill, the gradation, and or just simply nothing. Okay. So I'll go back to here, and let's see. So we're done this. Don't need that. So we're back here. So if I were to take this apart in my let's see, take away the words. So that's what I did. So basically, this is a piece of gradation. Now here's this part here. This is my gradation that I transition from here to here. This goes in there, and you can also transition to nothing. Okay, so we did that. There we go. And I'm going to use my Control or Command Z and get myself back. There we go. So that's how I built it, okay? Now originally, when I put this together, I put it together with the other, I had two banners I was going to make. And I wanted to make sure that the two banners had some sense of continuity, that they looked like they belonged, together. And I like the idea of having these colors. I kind of pulled the colors from the logo here, all these different bright colors. So and they're very kind of earth tones to me, which to me kind of is Ethiopian countryside, the greens, the earthiness. And so, but I want to make sure that the sort of the feeling of the lightness up here and the main color of the yellow or the green kind of connected a little bit. And again, same thing here, this image here, I double click on that, it'll say unembed, which means you've taken it off the file. So you gotta make sure these things are embedded, your images are embedded. Okay, so this is, there we go. So that's how we created this. So I've got the layers done. I've created this idea that really the words are most important than having the background of something. And let's see, that's pretty good. Now, when I looked at the final work, especially on this one, I didn't necessarily care for the fact that there was this gap. To me, kind of took away from this. So you put it together, and there's always things you can change. That's the beauty of layers. Now layers, if you're not familiar, you can actually take these, and you can move these around. You grab them, and I can take that layer, move it up here if I wanted to. See that? So you can actually grab these layers and move them in and out. So ones are on top of the other ones, okay? And we're going to delete, so basically I work both together, make sure that the sizes, I use, I pull out here in ruler. If you push down, left click on ruler, I can pull down, in the ruler area, I can pull down these little lines. See that little line? And that line, I can bring it down like this. And I can actually use these to kind of, these are called guidelines. And these guidelines help me to actually make sure that everything kind of connects this way. And I did the same thing here. The guide's up the top. Again, you can faint line, and there's a guide there. See? In fact, I think, let's see if my guides are on. You go up to view, and in here you've got rulers, which is on. My guides, I have, let's see, clear guides, hide, lock. Anyway, I must have already, I got rid of them when I did the final. So you have these lines, these guidelines you can bring in. So if you're doing multiple screens, these are great for aligning up things so they're all consistent, okay? But then we'll go to this, just as an example, I'll just go to the final, and up here I got the banner. And always keep a folder. I date my folders. So this is the final work. This is my working folders. Here's my images. This is sort of my first look at Illustrator. So I keep everything in a folder. It's all my projects in here. See that all the bits and pieces I make are in a folder, okay? And then I start to date these folders as the final, as I get to the final one. So the final one here, and this is the document I'm working on. let's say this is these are JPEGs, versions of that, okay, which I sent to Mulu for her review. And then this was the final one. So open this one up here. And I'll show you what the final one I did with the final. So the final brought together, I like the idea of the, again, I'm working with my client, which is Mulu. I'm working with her as a client. I'm sending her images, the process. So this is my final. Now, from the original one, you'll notice in here, there was a big gap right here. And I thought that was way too much light coming through and kind of distracted from this view. So on my final, I went back into Photoshop on that image, and I actually made her leg bigger and just decreased that little opening right there. So it's just not quite as strong. A couple of things I like to do when I do dark colors. One of the things I like to do is I use a really dark blue when I'm working here in fonts. See that? And I like that better. Let me get my option out of here. And your option key goes plus or minus. So when I hit my option key here, that'll give me the minus version. See that? That'll go plus, minus, plus, minus. So I hit my option key, do this. There we go. Go back to here. Okay. The font tool, I think you should probably know how to use that. But just as a quick reminder, this is the font tool, type tool, and I can get in here and I can type whatever. It always starts with this thing. So if I say love, and then once I highlight it, then up here I can pick over just a huge variety of different fonts, obviously, and sizes. And this is the size part of it over here. Oh, wrong way. So let's go down 25 millimeters. There we go. So it always starts with some strange thing like this, but if I just want to use LOVE, there we go. Highlight it and grow it out to here. Right. So I can, you can use the fonts. You have a variety of characters you can use. It's just amazing. Okay, so that's part of the font tool, which I think you might already be familiar with. Okay, so let's go ahead and use my magnifying tool, option out. We'll go back here. Also, another good way to get to see the full view of what you're working on. Sometimes it gets confusing, it gets lost. What you can do is go up here to View, and if you hit Fit All in Window. So let's say if I lose, see, it'll go back. So let's say for some reason I lose my work. Okay, someplace it's confusing and I got rid of it. If I go back to let's see, View, and Fits All in Window. There we go. I get it goes back to my thing. So I know it can be frustrating, and don't let it get you down. You just have to keep working it. I'm pretty good at this because I made all the right mistakes. So you have to kind of get in and get ambitious and really kind of work this. So I think that covers this. We got the fonts, we got the image in, and I just showed you the final work. And it's always good to work off somebody. I don't spell very well, so I always make sure my client sees a variation of things I'm working on. I talk to people to assess what I've got going proportionally if it reads right. So hopefully that works, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the summertime. Okay, take care now. Bye.